Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. It is January already, and I thought that it would be the perfect time for kind of a crash course in how to get started with hand lettering or how to jump back into it, because even if you've been doing it for a while, I think that these tips are going to be good reminders that we could all use no matter where we are in our hand lettering journey. So I wanted to just break it down for you, and I'm going to move kind of quickly, but feel free to pause if you need to, or I'm going to link a bunch of resources in the description box below. So if you do want to take it more slowly, I do have a few resources that I think would be super helpful for you. But today I just kind of wanted to jump right in and get moving so that you can get started with hand lettering. So first of all, let's go ahead and look at what you need. Not much, honestly, just paper and a brush pen. So I'm going to show you a few different brush pens, but do not be overwhelmed by this. There are a lot of options. So basically what you need to get started is a brush pen like this that has a flexible brush tip. This means that when you apply firmer pressure to your brush pen, you're going to get a thicker stroke than if you apply lighter pressure. This is kind of the key hallmark of calligraphy or brush lettering. You want those nice thick strokes on your down strokes, and then your up strokes are going to be thinner. So this is going to look a little bit different depending on what kind of brush pen you have. You can have a large brush pen, you can have a smaller one, you can have something in the middle. There are even some super tiny ones where these differences are going to be a little bit more minimal. But regardless, what we're going to try to do is create a thicker stroke when our pen is going down. So that means when you're kind of pulling your pen towards your body on the paper. Those strokes are going to be thicker. And then when you start drawing your upstroke, you're going to release your pressure and you're going to have a thinner line as you move your brush pen back up the paper. So if you're not really sure how to do this, all you need to do is simply write out your word that you're trying to write and put arrows on that word. And then every time you see a down arrow, that's going to be your thicker stroke. And then when you see an up arrow, that's going to be your thinner stroke. And the goal is to kind of slowly transition from one stroke thickness to the next. So you're not flopping from a really thin stroke into immediately a bigger stroke. You're going to get used to over time applying lighter pressure slowly and in the right spots so that you have that nice transition from a thinner stroke to a thicker stroke and then back to a thinner one again. Now, one thing that's going to be really important when you are hand lettering the alphabet is that you lift up your pen very frequently. Now, I actually lift up my pen after pretty much every single stroke. I won't say you have to do that, but honestly, I think it's a good idea. It helps you to reset and kind of realign. I notice when I don't do this, my lettering gets less consistent, it gets kind of sloppy, it gets uneven, it might start going up the page or down the page. It's just a good habit, especially at the beginning, to lift up your brush pen after every single stroke. And you may think that sounds opposite of what you should be doing, but the fact is this is kind of the difference between brush lettering and cursive. So when it comes to cursive, part of cursive is being efficient and writing quickly. And that does include going back and forth over different parts of your letters and just kind of connecting everything together. But that is not the purpose when you're doing calligraphy or brush lettering. Your purpose is kind of drawing your letters versus writing them. And so to do that, it just really helps if you lift up that brush pen after each and every stroke. And then you can kind of readjust what you're doing. You'll get used to doing this very quickly, so it's not like a whole huge process or anything like that. But it will help, I believe, to make this a little bit more simple and to be able to get your brush lettering to look just how you want it to look. So if that still sounds weird to you, let's think about it differently. We're not going to think about our hand lettering as letters. We're going to think of them as strokes. So I'm going to show you here the basic strokes of hand lettering. And basically all of the letters in the English alphabet are made up of these few strokes. So you don't have to practice and learn every single letter. You just need to learn all of these strokes. And once you do that, you can combine them into creating the alphabet. Now, I do want to point out that not every single brush pen that's the same size is going to write in the same way. Part of what will change how your hand lettering looks is how flexible that brush pen is. So there are some that are going to be super flexible And you don't actually have to apply a lot of pressure in order to get those thick downstrokes. But then there are others that are a little more firm and you might push really hard and the difference between thick and thin strokes might still be subtle. That's totally okay and totally normal. It's just a personal preference. So if you do have a really strong preference, I would recommend doing a little bit of research before you go and purchase a bunch of brush pens, because they are in fact not made equally. That doesn't necessarily make one better than the others, but it might mean that if you have a strong preference, you might benefit from doing a little bit of research before you buy. I do have a lot of brush pen reviews on this channel, so if you have a specific pen you're looking at, you could search for it in my pen reviews playlist, and there's probably a pretty good chance that I may have a review on it, but if not, just let me know and I will certainly look into it. I also want to point out an honorable mention here. You actually don't really need any fancy brush pens. You can really create this look with a Crayola marker. So if you're just wanting to start today and that is what you have at home, do not worry. I actually have done a lot of hand lettering with Crayola markers over the years, and not only do they work surprisingly well, they're actually pretty fun to use. They help you get the feel for those thick and thin strokes because they're one of the markers that they're pretty firm. I assume because they're not actually intended to be brush pens, but they do have a little flexibility. So if you push down on them, you will see a difference between your thick down strokes and your thin up strokes. So definitely don't count them out. I know it's a little unconventional, but they work surprisingly well. So I did mention that I would put some resources in the description box below, but I did want to mention that I do have a free 7-day hand lettering course that you can find at howtohandletter.com/mini course. And if you wanted a little bit more guidance and also some help going through the basics of hand lettering one day at a time, make sure to sign up for that free mini course. I'll make sure to link it below, but if you can't find it, again, you can go to howtohandletter.com/mini course. And I do have a lot of different printables for different styles of hand lettering, but by far the favorite for learning brush lettering is the Simplified Lettering Beginner Bundle, which is what you can see here. This is a digital download and you receive practice pages for both lowercase and uppercase. And I have them broken down where you can see the individual stroke by itself, and then you put those together to create the letter. On top of that, you get 50 common practice words to trace, which I think is actually the best way to practice those lettering connections, because the lettering connections kind of change from word to word because we are combining different letters together. So if you are interested in that, I will link that below, but I also wanted to mention that in the mini course, there is a huge discount for my printable hand lettering worksheets. So I just wanted to be totally transparent about that, because if you are looking for worksheets, honestly, you just get a really big discount in the mini course. And I always want people to get the best deal, so it's totally up to you, zero pressure either way. But I did just want to tell you up front so there are no surprises. If you join the mini course, you get an offer for a really big discount on my worksheets. So that's maybe a weird thing to tell you. I'm sure that goes against marketing rules or something like that, but I would want to know if there was an option for a big discount, so I figured I would tell you. Okay, I wanted to give you a couple more tips that I feel like are really important, but maybe not as specific to how you write or draw your letters. But one thing is, I want to say that paper really does matter. So I used to use just like super cheap printer paper, and not only does it just not look that great, like your lettering sometimes feathers and like the markers will bleed. It also can be really hard on your brush pens. So if you're paying money for a specific brush pen to do hand lettering with, you kind of don't want it to get ruined right away. So I personally use and love HP Premium 32 paper. I will say this is not what I have been using in this video because I'm out of it. In this video, I'm using Hammermill paper, which is also a wonderful paper. I like HP Premium 32 a little bit better because it gives you this really glossy look with your brush pens, and I really like that. But I've had a hard time wanting to spend what it currently costs because it is like twice as much as what I used to pay. And so I've been exploring some other papers, and that's why I'm using the Hammermill today. They're both great though, and I will link all of these papers in the description box below. Another option is to use a marker paper. This is probably not going to be your more affordable option. When you buy one of the fancier copy papers like HP Premium 32 or Hammermill, you get quite a lot of pages. So even though the price might be not super different from a notebook with marker paper, you are very likely going to get a lot less paper when you're buying marker paper. So just keep that in mind. Even though the price might not be super different, you might be getting like 500 pieces of paper in one pack and then like 50 in another. So just make sure to check that. And then another option is Rhodia. They have some really nice paper pads as well. They have a dot grid one that I really like and have used over the years. So those are several different options. I would not overthink it. I would just buy something that is nice and smooth. So if you don't have an option for any of those that I mentioned, just look for a paper that is very smooth. Vellum is another option if you're looking for something like that. But papers where you can run your hand across them and they feel bumpy, that's probably not going to be your favorite thing for brush lettering. Another thing that I wanted to mention is speed. I know that it's easy to see videos like this, and especially shorter form videos like on Instagram or TikTok, and think that that is real time, but honestly a lot of times they're really sped up. So even though it might look like a normal pace, it might actually be sped up 2 or 3 times. I have found that I do my best hand lettering, at least especially when I was a beginner, when I wrote so slowly. I mean, kind of painfully slowly, honestly. And I'm not saying that you have to write that slowly, but just make sure that you're not rushing. Because I find that when you rush, it just makes it look a little bit more sloppy. It makes it more difficult to keep even spacing. And I would just really recommend to at least try to go slowly. And then when you do, try to go even a little bit more slowly. If I'm wrong and you hate it, you can always speed back up again, but just maybe try it once. And I would also like to encourage you to just not take it too seriously. I know that it is easy to get hung up on the rules and the how-tos of things like this, but honestly, it's supposed to be fun. It is supposed to be an art form. It's supposed to be a way to relax or a way to remind yourself of truths that you want to write down and put on your wall. It is supposed to be a way to create beautiful things, whether that's decorating your home with art prints or creating cards for people or journaling or Bible journaling, or there's so many things. But what I don't think art is meant to do is stress you out. And so if it is doing that, I would just highly encourage you to not worry too much about the rules and just enjoy the process. I personally like rules because when I do create art, I kind of like things to look a certain way, and I find that I have a hard time doing that if I don't know what I'm doing. And I sometimes get frustrated with the guesswork of how do I make something look like this when I don't know the technical aspect of it. So that is why I share tutorials and why I share tips and tricks and things like that. But that does not mean that every single one of you will feel that way as well. So if there's ever a point where instruction makes you overwhelmed, that is a great time for a break. So I hope that this is helpful for you. Again, I will link all of the details for all of the things that I mentioned and the products that I used in the description box below. But if I could say one thing, it would be to start with a mini course. It is free, it is simple, and it'll walk you through 7 days of learning how to hand letter. And I think that's honestly a really great place to start. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.